Good day, fellow teachers. My name is Michelle Wongfusu, and today we will be discussing early literacy fundamentals. We will first define what early literacy is and go further to explain why literacy development is important in early childhood. We will then learn about the key predictors of literacy success and how we as early childhood educators promote children's early literacy skills. We will gain insights into the learning environment and activities that enhance early literacy development while considering how we can make accommodations for children with disabilities and special needs. We will then wrap up by discussing effective teaching strategies that support children's language and literacy development. Now, what is early literacy? Early literacy is what children know about communication, verbal and nonverbal language, reading and writing before they can actually read and write. From the moment babies are born, they are acquiring literacy skills by interacting with their environment through social experiences with their parents and the books read to them. They use facial expressions and gestures to communicate, and as they get older, they make their first sounds. When children play with books, by holding them, chewing them, turning the pages, when they recognize familiar objects in the environment and pictures in books, by pointing, when they imitate what they see around them, when they make scribbles with crayons, and when they sing along with nursery rhymes, they are displaying early literacy skills. Why is children's literacy development important? For the acquisition of proficient reading and writing skills. Studies show that children who fall behind in literacy development are less likely to be successful beginning readers and have difficulty catching up. They tend to fall further behind in spelling, reading fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Literacy development is also important for academic achievement since reading skills form the core of academic achievement. Poor reading and writing skills are associated with lower self-esteem and poorer educational outcomes, which increases school dropout rates. Literacy development is also important for competence throughout life. Poor reading and writing skills are associated with poorer social outcomes, which is evident as almost everything in today's society requires some form of literacy. One cannot function properly in society if they are illiterate. Predictive skills of later literacy success. The following skills help to build a solid foundation for literacy learning. The first is oral language, which is speaking, listening, and understanding, and vocabulary development, which is knowing the names of things. Oral language is the foundation for literacy success, as it makes learning to read and write possible. The second is alphabet knowledge, which is understanding that each letter is unique with a name and a sound. For example, understanding that the sound F goes with the letter F. The third is phonological awareness, which is about breaking up words into smaller sound units such as syllables, and it is most closely related to reading success. The fourth is conventions of print, which refer to the understanding of basic concepts of reading and writing text in terms of how to handle a book, how to follow words across a page from left to right, reading from top to bottom, and deriving enjoyment from reading books. The teacher's role in promoting children's early literacy. Teachers are communicators who listen, who give children enough time to speak, who correct them in a way that acknowledges their efforts. For example, if a child pronounces something incorrectly, the teacher is not going to say, no, that's wrong. The teacher will just casually say the correct pronunciation so the child hears. Teachers also respond to children's questions. They ask questions to extend children's language. They encourage sharing of opinions, and they use stories to introduce and encourage new words. The Access Center states that teachers provide scaffolding by introducing literacy materials in activity centers and discussing how to use those materials, such as taking telephone messages or making shopping lists. So teachers provide the assistance that children need to just complete a task on their own. Another role of the teacher is to prepare the environment to encourage socialization and experimentation with print. Now, rich environment is a must. There must be opportunities to interact with print, and there must be opportunities to use reading and writing materials throughout the day. In early childhood centers, cubbies are labeled with children's names, which provides multiple opportunities for them to recognize their name and their friend's name. Labeled activity centers, bathrooms, learning materials, all these reinforce the idea that letters form words and names. The daily schedule, which includes printed words and associated pictures, allow children to connect the printed word with the event. And all these contribute to children's literacy development. Now, all activity centers must contain both reading and writing materials, such as books, crayons, paper, markers, so that children can freely use throughout the day. Writing centers should provide opportunities to practice writing of letters or writing one's own name. Reading centers should contain bookshelves with a variety of reading materials such as storybooks, and there must be cozy spaces or desk areas that children can choose to sit alone or with others to engage in their own reading or listening to recorded books. Art centers must allow children to express themselves, to recreate, to integrate learning experiences using drawings or paintings or modeling with Play-Doh. Adaptations in materials and the environment assist children with special needs in participating in literacy activities. Examples include tactile books, which contain textured print or pictures to touch and smell, pencil grips that are placed over writing materials to assist with poor fine motor skills with gripping, using Velcro to keep books in place for easy handling, attaching switches to recorders or speaking toys for easy use, creating page turners for ease of turning pages, and creating communication boards which contain printed pictures from stories for free interaction and learning concepts about print. Most important part, what are effective teaching strategies for language and literacy? Effective early literacy strategies include developmentally appropriate settings, materials, and support that encourage early forms of reading and writing. One strategy is storytelling, which is one of young children's intellectual and communicative strengths. Providing opportunities for personal storytelling helps children draw upon their existing knowledge and experiences, which fosters fluency and expands language use. Teachers must first model storytelling by sharing their own, and then asking open-ended questions that connect to children's personal experiences, which draws a variety of possible responses. Another strategy is creating literacy-enriched play experiences. Literacy-enriched play experiences allow children to act out what they imagine or what they observe so that they can better understand their world. It also exposes them to valuable print experiences and helps them to practice narrative skills. Take, for example, a play area set up as a restaurant. It would have customers reading menus which contain familiar pictures and placing their orders, which leads to children developing emergent reading skills. There would also be waiters taking those orders, which leads to developing emergent writing skills, and so children work together to construct a story with their own plot. The strategy that can be used is conducting phonological awareness activities, which are an integral part of literacy development. They involve rhyming, which is identifying words that end with the same sound. For example, Jack and Jill went up a hill. Alliteration, which is recognizing when several words begin with the same sound. For example, Peter, Piper, picked a peck of pickled peppers. And sound matching, which is identifying words that begin with a specific sound. So, for example, you can show children a number of pictures of animals, like a dog, a cat, and a lion, and then you can ask those children, which one starts with the D sound. Another strategy that teachers can use is the interactive storybook reading, which reinforces language and motivates children to read. Now, teachers would usually use big storybooks with enlarged text. Teachers can use puppets or they can dress up to arouse children's interest when introducing the storybook. Throughout the storybook reading, teachers can ask questions or have children act out parts of the story to keep them engaged. And when that story is finished, teachers can encourage children to share their opinions, like, what did you think about the book, or what do you think so and so could have done instead? And to conclude, young children enter school with a variety of language and literacy abilities, where they make up stories, they create art, they move, they role play in ways that communicate their own thoughts and ideas. As early childhood educators, one of our goals is to develop learners who are competent in all areas of literacy, such as listening, speaking, thinking, writing, reading. How can we do this? By building upon and extending what children already know and can do. Why? Because early learning experiences with literacy are the foundation for future success in school and in life. Thank you very much. I hope this was very informative for you all.